Row 5. So basically this is, well, a few different things again, but quite interesting. I have thought about bunching these up better into rows that are kind of more in line with each other, but I haven't got around to doing that yet. And now I'm shooting another video series. I don't want to do another one afterwards. Class move, so you can click the same up or down, or you can just say same, not the same, so they're moving up or down. And the same with distance. These basically all work the same. Weight movement, so same up. I've added some pluses and minuses because some people asked that, yeah, they wanted weight movement up by a certain amount, so I put those in as well. And then weight movement since last win. So in other words, if they won and then they've gone up £10 or something, you probably don't want to go on them more unless they're a really good horse or something. So, but again, you can say up or down. So if you're into laying horses, you're probably looking at horses that have moved up in weight rather than down in weight. But yeah, so basically that's pretty simple. It's just movements from their last races or whatever, and that one's from their last win. This is an interesting one. It's the ranks before 10 minutes before the off and 5 minutes before the off, and then you've got a 5 minutes one there. So you can either look at the prices at 10 minutes before or 5 minutes before. But they are relatively new. There's not, like years of data. There's months of data as far as that one. Then we get to the, course win, distance win, course distance winner. Some people kind of muck that up a little bit. So that's one at course. Okay, that's one at distance, and that's one at course and distance. So in other words, at that course they've won at that distance as well. And you can combine if you want to as well with or and. So it's just the way I originally programmed it. So you can put one at course or one at distance, so you can combine both of them, or CD win and D win, that kind of thing, or you can go and so one at course and one at distance is not the same as course and distance. That's just one at the course and one at the distance, and that distance could be at a different course. So you kind of have to get your head around that if you choose that one, then it's not the same as that one, which is course and distance at the same course, if you like, and then beaten favourite if you want to use it. So hopefully that makes some kind of sense. Or it's difficult to sometimes get those exactly right in your brain, but basically it's, yeah, so I've already explained that now. Anyway, tipster count. Now our tipster comes from a different feed than like the Racing Post one, so it's not always totally the same as the Racing Post. I don't know why, it's just sometimes it can be off. There's a slightly different mixture of tipsters involved. There are pretty much similar, but there are a slightly different one. So you can basically say, must have at least 10 tipsters to 15 tipsters back. We have 15 tipsters in our database. 10 to 15 back in the horse. You're going to be looking for probably very strong favourites. So this is the percentage chance of a tipster's. That should be percentage actually there. So basically, yeah, I've only gone up to 30% because not many tipsters can. In fact, I don't know any tipsters that get it right 30% or greater. So basically, it will select any tipster who's tipping a horse that has got over a 16% strike rate, that kind of thing. So basically, that's about percentage strike rates. So that is my agreement with my feed doesn't allow me to give names of the tipster. So it's in a database, as I said, 15 tipsters. So I can't actually tell you which tipster name-wise, because my feed it's a lot more. Horse racing is really crazy. You pay for feeds for different things, and you have to pay lots more to add on different things depending on who the feed's coming from. And although they give you numbers to actually get names and stuff like that, which always causes more issues, the feed price tends to go up, and I just don't think it's worth it. So I haven't paid the extra. But basically, so yeah, I don't actually. I can't actually give you that information, but basically you're relying on the stats in the database that you only select tipsters that have got a 13% strike rate, who are tipping particular horses, that kind of thing. So I don't know how useful that is. I haven't actually used that very much since I put it in. I do use tipster count often in systems, because that's quite interesting. Not so much to that they will make you a profit, but just to see if a horse has got anybody going for it. So normally it would be I would just look to see if any tipsters have tipped a horse. If I'm backing, if I'm laying, I might look the other way. But yeah, definitely, you can get some odd surprises with horses that have only been tipped by 1 or 2 tipsters. So yeah, horse country. This is where the horse was kind of bred or registered as bred. So you can pick what you like. I mean, UK, most of ours are UK and Irish race horses, but some people say, if you go on USA horses on Fibersand or whatever, they can do well. I've never seen that, but evidently it does work. Yeah, the first letter of the horse's name, and this was really put in as a random generator. So that if you're testing a system, like I've said before on other features, you can test it on the first letter of the name and see if your system still stands up. If it doesn't, then there's something fundamentally wrong with the system. It's always a good idea to test your system across names, and obviously there'll be more horses starting with probably S than there will be K or something like that. So you can do different ideas, but you might want to use it to create a system just with horses with the first letter of A. I don't know, but yeah, that's really as a random generator. So if you're trying to randomly check your system that you come up with, that's a good idea to do it. If you're on a flat race or an AW, then there will be a draw, and you can choose between 1 and 40. That generally is the top draw. So if you only want to go out the first draw or whatever, that's it. Or you can do not, as always, and claiming. If your horse is claiming, I've put 1 to 10, but obviously the general is 3 and 7 and things like that. So 3, 5 and 7 I think it is. But there are others, but generally there would be probably the ones that you wanted to have a look at. So if the horse is claiming £3, is it making a difference, that kind of thing. So yeah, I hope that's okay. I hope I've explained that right. So that's another column over with, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.